doesn't love a good chill hop jam, right? Hey there. Welcome to the No Money, More Plants podcast. I'm your host, Lebo, and I'm glad you're here. I started this podcast with the intention of releasing an episode every week for 11 weeks. And I have unfortunately not delivered on this promise to myself. But as the late Aaliyah said, if at first you don't succeed, then dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again. So here I am, trying again. I hope you will feel encouraged to try again at whatever you failed to do at first. Whether it be cutting out sugar in your diet, or being on time for meetings, or sticking to your morning routine. Let's pick up where we left off. Today's episode is a continuation of episode 2. We are chatting to Asisipho, a fierce and beautiful 20-something-year-old who left a job at one of the biggest investment management companies in Africa to follow her dream career in law. If you haven't listened to part 1 of this episode, I suggest you do so now. The link will be in the description box. Let's get into this week's episode. So you said you dealt with the employee, the boss's bosses very well, and just said a plain no. But I'm sure it wasn't as easy with your parents, or not parents, but I think parents are very understanding. They just get embarrassed around their friends and their extended family. So let's maybe say extended family, because I don't think parents are that hard to explain something to, especially when it comes to their own children.
Yeah. I think for me, what works is that, so obviously, we were all girl kids, or children rather, raised by my mom and her sister. So it was quite a close and small, open environment. So our mom quickly became our friend, and we became each other's friends before we could make friends with other people. So it was always sort of easy to kind of know when life kind of knocks you down, or there's something that you're mulling over, then it's your parents who you speak to first. Obviously, it's a very difficult conversation to have, because your parents aren't exactly going to be excited that you're leaving a job just when it's starting to look like you're on the right track. And now you're coming back home. So you've gone from living literally away from home for almost 10 years, and now you're coming back home. So for them, it's not something easy for them to understand. But my mom always said, health and mental wellness at first, comes first before anything else. And it just so happens that one of my mom's sisters / cousins had just lost her son, who committed suicide, and they didn't understand he was going through a mental battle, because she kept convincing him to study, I think it was in Sweden, and he didn't want to be there. He wanted to be here instead, and study something else. But because our parents obviously sometimes think they know what's best for us, and they really do, but sometimes it's not always the case.
Yeah.
So it gave them quite a scare to know that this generation...
Yeah, because they can kill themselves.
Yeah, they kill themselves. So when they tell you things are tough...
Yeah, believe it.
Have to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was very understanding, and she's always said, if you always need to go back home to regroup, I don't think she realized it would be this long. But if you need to go home to regroup, then just know that that's always an option. My mom always said that. She's like, even when you guys don't get married, if you feel like your marriage is tough and you need...
No, don't listen to that part. That's when you know your mother's calling you home. She misses you.
Yeah. She's like, if you know that, like, it's tough, there's no shame in ever coming back. So I guess it was easy in that front. Obviously, I do think other people didn't understand.
They won't. They
don't.
Yeah.
And I think my only frustration is her having to explain. But my mom, she's a tough girl. She can handle anything. But, like, I guess it's other people that were the problem or have now become the problem, because everyone's like, girl, it's been 2 years. What's the story?
You know, honestly speaking, okay, wait, what was the plan? Okay, before we talk about these people, what was the plan? And did you have to explain to your mom, okay, in this year, this is what I'm planning on doing? Or did you just say, yeah, like, what was it?
So my plan, initially, in 2013, I wanted to take a gap year. I was like, I want to go study. Because I think I knew then that if I went to study, I would not study what I actually want. I would not have gathered the courage to study what I wanted to study. But obviously, you have a job at a whatever place. And so your parents are going to be like, hey, we don't know this gap year, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I sold the idea, I was like, it's good. I've done the degree. I've done the working. I'm just asking that you give me time to myself.
And you don't have anyone you must feed. It's only yourself. Yeah.
I'm not trying to feed nobody. My mom's friend was like, are you sure she's not pregnant?
Oh, yeah. That's like the number one suspicion. Trust me.
Maybe she broke up with the father's child. I was like, okay, let's wait 9 months.
Wow.
It comes out. So, I mean, I think initially it was a gap year and the promise was to go back. To go back to work. But then I guess halfway through the year, I was like, actually, I am going to go back to work, but I actually came up with this idea.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, yeah, I kind of assumed that's what you were going to study, but when you said finances, I go, yes, our parents. I was like,
I'm like, why didn't you warn me in that time? Like, I've now spent 3 years studying, 3 years working.
3 years working.
Yeah, no. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ma.
And now I'm literally 6 years late, but like, God is time, so like.
So how has it been studying again? Like, starting to study after that gap? But you actually studied while you were working, right?
Yes, I did.
So it actually hasn't been that big of a break.
It was like a 2-year break, and then I started studying again in 2018. I did well in the first semester. Second semester, I was like, I hate this nonsense. So I cut it. I was like, I'm not trying. Because it was almost like, if I continue this, then I'm further solidifying this career path. And I finally despised it. So then I couldn't study anymore. And then things just went downhill. But studying right now feels... So everyone thinks because it's hot time and literally self-study that it's supposed to be harder than obviously a conventional being a first-year student at Stellenbosch and whatnot. But I think I'm grateful for that Stellenbosch experience, because I really enjoy studying now. It's first year, so who knows? But like, you kind of have control over your time and how you study, and no one's pushing you. If there's one thing I learned in 2020, it's discipline and consistency. So no one's pushing you. You don't study, you don't submit assignments, you don't write exams. You've literally donated X amount to whatever
the institute. Hey.
Yeah.
That's what
But
pisses me off the most. Anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the textbooks are very thorough, I think. But for me, I think it also works because my dad is also in the same stream. My brother's in the same stream. One of my good friends that I met at work, who is also working and studying law, but has since obviously finished, graduated, and is now an attorney, are all there. So my other friend's brother's a lawyer who also went to study another degree, went back home, realized it wasn't working, went back to study law. So I have a lot of people who kind of draw reference from people that are in a similar situation who are like, yeah, we know time-wise it doesn't feel like the best. Like it feels like you're much behind, but like keep pushing. Eventually, things are gonna get. So it's worked because then if there are concepts I don't understand, then I kind of know who to use or who haven't I exhausted out, who haven't I annoyed yet. And luckily, my brother's friend, I literally asked him a question. I'd be like, "What does this mean?" And then my friend has to send it to her brother, has to get back a response. And he actually told me very, very early on in my study, because I was like, what is this? And then he was like, he sent a voice note back asking, well, what's her understanding of what that concept is? Because I'm not going to give her the definition.
Oh, wow.
She had to say
Head teacher.
This means X, Y, Z. Is this correct? Is this wrong? And then I'll fill in the gap. And I literally shook. At first I was annoyed. I was like, who does he think he is? A lawyer? But who does he think he is?
Who I want to become?
Yeah. But he literally changed how I studied, because then it moved from because if you're in high school instead of pretty much simple, you kind of fed the information. Well, he kind of made me realize you have to fetch the information and then just have people fill in the gap. So I think for me, I've enjoyed it in that sense.
Yeah. So okay, besides the actual studies, what have you learned? Okay, so I call this being unemployed on purpose, fun employed. You are fun employed, and it's a term coined by some YouTuber. I will link it in the description for those who would like to follow her. But what have you learned besides the studies and enjoying what you're studying at the moment? What have you learned that you can impart on fellow youths that are thinking about leaving their jobs to follow a different career path, or to just take some time off for themselves?
Yeah, I think the one most important lesson is that have a plan.
No, in 2020, you want to say to someone they must have a plan. Okay, yeah.
But have a plan, but be open to the fact that your plans will change.
Okay, yeah.
And that's the first thing, because honestly, I thought I've worked, so it should be easy to get back into the working world. God was like, no, ma'am. So I think be open to the fact that your plans will change, but it's better to have your plans changed than to wonder about kind of casually wasting time, trying to figure things out and whatnot. Because even though it has been literally 2 years now without a job, it doesn't feel like I wasted time. One, because the first year was a health or a mental health journey that I needed, and I think people should actually prioritize that, because I think in our culture for Black people, mental illness is not something that's taken seriously, and it's so important.
It's witchcraft. What do you even mean?
It's witchcraft, but then that's how people start killing each other and whatnot. So for me, that worked, and I got more from it, because then I started also rebuilding relationships with family, people I obviously hadn't been able to for the 10 years I was thoroughly in school, whatever. And then last year was obviously studying, and obviously other means to hustle, because you have to feed yourself. So you have to find ways to get income.
Yeah.
Be it a loan shark like me or whatever.
Oh no, I see. No.
I'm joking, but like have a plan.
Yeah.
And I think once you have a plan, it'll make things make sense even when they don't. Because there'll be times when you regret leaving your job, when it feels like everyone's laughing at you, when people are actually laughing at you, when people are questioning whether you've become a failure or not. But if you understand the plan, if you understand the journey, if you understand the goal, then it makes it easy on days. Because some days you'll wake up and you'll think, what did I do? I could have a house by now. I could have a car by now.
Oh,
I could have this.
Yeah.
You know, all these things. And those will play in your head. And it's only that plan, that goal, that trying to understand why you're doing something. That why will feed you even on times when whatever's going on doesn't feel like it makes sense.
That is very wise. Thanks, Asi. So can you tell us what is next? Should we watch you out on the Supreme Court? Like, what are the plans?
That is the goal. Hey?
Yeah.
That is the dream. Like one day when I am in the Constitutional Court, like this will make
Why
sense.
would you want to get into the corruption of this country? Why?
How do you say Lord corruption in the same place? I mean,
no, but I do see you. I do see you there. I do. Yeah, I see it happening. What more? What else should we expect?
I guess now I guess now it's obviously trying to get back into the working space. But I am also trying to, because one of the reasons why I did really badly want to go to law was obviously to find justice, especially for women that are abused or are victims of gender-based violence, rape, and all of those. And I have been trying to volunteer at this safe house here in East London, but I'm still struggling, but I'm going to continue pursuing that because I think those are things you can do even before you're a lawyer or a judge or a magistrate. But it's basically just like whatever things I can do to feed the dream and the process of getting there, I will be doing. And obviously continue on the health journey.
Oh yes. Oh guys, Asi is a Jehovah's Witness for Coach AK. We will link Coach AK's things on the description. But Asi will also message you if you need. And Jazz Fitness. These guys who jump up like nobody's. They like jump like 5 meters high. Oh. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt your listening experience. Are you looking for an online e-commerce site where you can sell your unique product? That Buying Site is a community-centered online shopping platform that provides a digital space for small local businesses to sell their products. They love to support local, and their desire is for communities to invest in each other and thereby grow better communities together. If you would like to inquire about selling your unique product on That Buying Site, contact them at info@thatbuyingsite.com. That is info@thatbuyingsite.com. Now back to the podcast. Tell us, what habits are you going to be continuing into your work schedule when you get the job? Because it's a when and not an if. Yes. So what habits are you going to be waking up at 5 a.m. to gym? Like what habits are you going to take into the work space?
So I don't actually know. So I'm not going to stop exercising. And unfortunately, the bag has caught me.
You're going to be one of those people who like buys gym clothes and takes photos for fun. That's literally all I do. So if I get money and I have enough to spare, because I still have debit orders that I have to continue like a working person. Of course.
But when I do have money to spare, I never think about lunch dates. I don't think about trips or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this gym thing that I actually saw that I need to go to. I cut my hair, guys, as a financial decision because I was like, I can't waste money on trivial things like hairstyles.
I agree with you.
That money for petrol to go to the gym. So that's what I do.
And sweating is better with short hair than in like braids or a wig or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about ruining a hairstyle. I'm just like, you see, it works.
How's the banting though? Because I heard you were banting, so I'm like, I can do the exercise bit, but the not eating magwinya, I don't know, magwinya, fake cook, whatever. Yeah.
So I'm not really. So I'm not like banting, like deliciously or whatever. I'm in a mixture place because I started using Herbalife. I like this.
Did it actually work, Asi?
Listen, I started like 3 weeks ago. Does it, guys? I will tell you in 6 months. But I will tell you this. I might not see the physical results now, but like body-wise, it makes you feel like you have an entire new body. Like you feel less tired. You feel like your mental space or capacity is much more so mentally you're more active, aware than I was, and I'm not doing anything different. Like it takes a lot for me to get exhausted, like a lot. Like a lot. Like
but I think it's also gymming. Like I think gymming gives you a lot more energy than what you think you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So I guess I'm trying to eat healthier. Not trying. I'm eating healthier. But I think for me, what works with eating healthy is exercising. So last year when I started with AK, God bless that man will teach you discipline. I would literally the first session, I still don't know how I finished that session because I could not do sit-ups.
Oh gosh.
I could not do
Yeah, me neither.
I could not do anything. Like, it wasn't even like a mental, people say, you have to believe you got in your mind. I was like, no, guys, physically, the weight I have right now
says no.
I don't need to get out. I can't move. Not me.
If I must carry myself, I will die.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have to do planks, and you're like I want to, but like I actually can't carry that amount of weight on my arms and my legs because it's too much.
Yeah. But now you can do a plank, I'm sure.
Of course.
Planks.
So, I mean, AK did the exercise. Jazz continued the exercise, but his focus was gym is nothing. Like, you lose weight in the kitchen. And literally every day he would say you lose weight in the kitchen. So then, for me, it made no sense to go to gym, come back, and have wacky Wednesdays. Like,
the nice things.
Yeah, and then you can't, like, you're like, this is month 4, but I'm not really seeing the progress. But then you're like, yeah, because I go to gym, but then when I come back, my kitchen is bad. So then you say, make sure your kitchen is clean so that your body can start reflecting.
I know. Yes. Preach, guys. Preach, Coach, AK Coach. Jazz Fitness. I know.
I mix it. So, I'm ready. Like, if I have to do gym at 5 in the morning before work, I'm ready. If I have to do gym after work, I'm ready. I know a lot of people are like, it's different when you're working than when you're not working.
No, I've heard some working people who like go hard. So I think if you really love it, you'll make time for it. There's people, you can definitely do it.
Because these people work. Like, Jazz is actually, he works at Transnet. He's like a professional.
What?
Yeah, he's not an
I feel so ashamed.
That's his part-time thing. That's his after-work thing. He actually has a job.
I'm so angry. I feel so ashamed. I want to exercise now. Like, I'm gonna.
And he wakes up, goes to gym in the morning, so so that he can exercise his own body, goes to work, then comes back so he can give us a fitness chance. So if he can do it,
wow.
Like,
okay, no.
Anyone can.
I know. Asi, thank you so much for your time. It has been an interesting and very funny. I hope everyone has enjoyed it as much as I have. Please pimp yourself out. Where can people find you?
I'm not a social media.
I knew it.
I mean,
do you want to be found?
I mean, if someone really wants to get into contact,
they must telephone you.
Yeah, call me, everybody. Because like I said, I'm horrible online. Like, I'm horrible with WhatsApp. Someone will send me I'm not as bad as you, man.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm trying to be better.
You reply to me days later.
Yeah. Someone could be dead, and I'm like, oh, what happened? Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really have any social media things. But if someone really does, like, call me. But please, follow AK Fitness on Instagram, Facebook. Follow Jazz Fitness Fit Club on Facebook as well. If you really want to make that commitment to yourself, because I do think adopting a healthy lifestyle is a commitment to yourself. It's not even about anyone else. It's literally you wake up every day, you go to gym or whatever, and like you've given to yourself before you've given to anyone else.
That is the truth.
Run it over.
Yeah. Oh no! Thank you so much, Asi. That is amazing. I will share the links for Work Coach AK. They're getting free advertising. Yo, wow. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. My big takeaways from this conversation were the importance of family bonds in cultivating a healthy and honest emotional and mental space. I was also reminded of the importance of discipline and consistency in studies and in exercise. See you in the next episode with another amazing guest. Bye.